Alright, YouTube land, we're back with another video. Today we've got a Cobra 29 LTD Classic. Cobra 29 LTD, actually. A Harley Davidson edition, one of the older Cobra 29s. This was sent in by Buck. Buck sent this radio in with some requests. First, he wanted me to put a bigger final in it. Now, Buck, I know we discussed the HG 1969, but I actually went with the RF 520 MOSFET in this, just because I like the durability. And I made that decision really after I seen what mods and the hacks and everything that had been done to this radio, because it was hacked out the kazoo. So we had to put a bunch of stuff back. So it still had the stock final, the 2078 in it, but it was some pretty bad hackery going on. But anyway, we put you in RF520. You requested a 5-watt dead key on the you requested a 5-watt dead key and wanted it tuned clean. So a little different than what we've been doing, more of a everyday talker. Got your sticker on there. So anyway, we just want to show you the carrier real quick. 50-watt slug. And it's right at 5 watts, 5 watts carrier. I'm going to pause it. We're going to hook the machine up. We're going to start out with the receive, and then we'll work our way through. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back with the Harley Davidson Edition 29. And happy to say, let's turn with the noise breaker on. We dial it in there to 12 dB. It actually came out really good, negative 107 at 12 dB of cyanide, so working like a champ. And it's falling out at about negative 116. Let's see, no, yeah. Negative 117. So that's not bad for a Cobra 29 whatsoever. Not bad at all. So like I say, with the noise breaker on, it's pulling out about negative 115, and just with the A&L on. So anyway, you know, we're talking about down in the mud anyway, but pretty decent receive for a Cobra 29, if I do say so. Alright, so we'll go back to transmitter test, and we'll start out here. Now this is what all my peoples have been waiting for. So we had a 5-watt carrier, we're modulating 20 watts PEP, proper tune-up. We're looking at 30 kilohertz, looking good. What you've got there, center spike, is your carrier, and your 2 spikes on both sides is your upper and lower side bands, if people understand that. Now, people want to see the scope. When we do proper tune-ups at 100% modulation, the waveform is everything. So there you go, there's your waveform, and the whole 9 yards. Warming up there. So like I say, also Buck asked for a heat sink to be added to the heat sink flange that the final is on. And so we did that for you too, Buck. I've already got this thing put together. You're more than welcome when you get it to open it up and check it out for yourself. No problem there. So anyway, so Buck, you asked for a good clean talker with a 5-watt carrier tuned to 100% modulation, and that's what you got. So we got a 20-watt key, and like I say, that's what you got. So anyway, that's with a 100 kilohertz tone injected right there. Now, so anyway, a lot of guys are emailing me asking me about this stuff, asking me questions about everyday talker 29. They don't want a comp radio, don't really want a comp radio, and that's fine. You know, I understand. I have a very large, diverse group of customers, and I try to cater to all you guys. Some of you guys, you know, we do the comp 29s, and you know, they're pretty nasty on the adjacent channels. But you know, the customer's always right. Now, I don't do exports that way, just for the simple fact that the cotton pickers are just too nasty. You know, they're just too dirty. You know, but the 29s, we can bring this out. I forgot to do that. Let's bring it out to 100 megahertz. 100 megahertz. Let's click it back on here. There, we're clicked back on. Now I think I can see most of this. Click back on, 20 watts PEP. That's what we're doing. Everything looking good. Bring it out to 150. Bring it out to 300. That's 300. We can look at it at whatever reference you want to look at it at. Let's see, 150. Let's bring it out to, there's 300. Let's bring it out to, we can bring it up to, that's 15. That's taking it down. Well, there's negative 15, negative 10. You know, it doesn't matter. I don't know if y'all are getting a good view of that. Negative 20, and 300 megahertz. And we're listening to it through the Kenwood here. Make sure the Kenwood's on frequency. Kenwood's on. That's the tone we're throwing. So anyway, I want to key this thing. I ain't worried about overheating the radio. I could get 20 watts PEP with this 520 MOSFET. This thing, you can get long-winded till the cows come home. Even with that extra heat sink I put in there, give you more heat sink area to cool the transistor. This radio, well, all my radios will hold modulation indefinitely. They will burn up before they lose a watt. And that's just the way they are. You know, if it's losing a watt, or if the meter's falling down like this, that's because there's something going on, something wrong. You know, it'll hold peak modulation all day long. Look good doing it. So anyway, so I had a few questions. I had a guy that sending in a Galaxy 88, and I wanted to answer the questions real quick. He wanted me to do an unboxing video. Okay, now I'm gonna give my opinion on that real quick. I don't really do that. You know, if you got a radio that's been done somewhere else and you're wanting to check it out, that's fine. But we like to keep that private. I feel like the people that do the unboxings are kind of shysters, if you ask me. Kind of like you got a couple of them out there that don't even have any test equipment. You know, what are they going to do? Unbox? Just show you the box and the radio? They don't have nothing to even show you anything. So you know, and then you know, it's just a dishonest practice, really. I mean, if you do good work, you ain't got nothing to prove. I'd be glad to make you a. If you're sending in a radio that's got issues, the issues he has is on the 88 is he says he paid over almost $200 for an alignment, and the S meter is not calibrated properly on sideband. Well, the sideband S meter calibration is totally different than AM, and we've showed that a few times before. So anyway, but really, guys, if you're spending that kind of money, Jesus, I hope it was a recap job. I hope it was a restore job, because man, they seen you coming, no doubt. So anyway, just answering, you know, just to get that clarified. Also, here's another thing I wanted to clarify in this video. If you send me a radio, when I get ready to ship that sucker back, I'm going to look. If you send it to me priority mail, I'm going to send it back to you priority mail, most likely. And I'm going to look at the label that you sent me. And priority mail, it always tells the cost of what it costs for you to send it to me. So if it says it costs you $26 to send that radio to me, well, I'm going to go to the, I'm going to use your box, reuse your packing. I'm going to go to the post office, and I'm going to assume you put insurance on it. So what I'm running into is I'll get to the checkout line there, and I've already charged you. You've already paid your invoice electronically, and so I recharged you $26. What it cost you, what you paid here, is what I've charged you. But I get to the deal, and I'm like, well, this is not in this case, but say a export radio. Well, it's a $300 radio. I put $300 worth of insurance. Well, that knocks it up $5 or $6 more over what you sent it. So what I'm telling you guys is, if you're sending something in and you're not putting insurance on it, I'm not going to put insurance on it when I return it, because I'm going by the mailing label and whatever. And a lot of guys say, well, that insurance ain't worth it. But yes, it is. I've had, you know, I haven't had hardly any claims, but in the last 10 years I probably can count on, you know, my hand how many I've had, but they've paid. So I'm just saying, you know, it's going back exactly the way you packed it, exactly the way it came here. You know, we sometimes we throw a little extra padding in there, and if it throws it off by $1 or $2, you know, that's it. But I'm just saying, guys, if you're sending something in, you might want to insure it. I'm not going to insure it going back. If you didn't insure it here, or, you know, I'll just ask you straight up, you paid $25, is that with insurance? I'll ask you when you pay your invoice. You can kind of tell me what you want your stuff insured at. So just a little something to go by. So anyway, Buck, here's your Cobra 29. Your microphone's already in the box. We rewired a mic for you too, that a static mic. And here's your video on your super clean. Well, let me pause this. We're going to hook a static mic like what you're going to run. We can listen to this, but man, this thing is smooth. Give me just a second. We're going to listen to this. All right, we're back. We've got a static mic like you're going to use hooked up. We can listen to it real quick.
Hello, around DX Land, 442, reading the mail. Audio check. Listen to that Cobra 29, crisp, clear audio. Nothing but this Cobra 29 Harley Davidson edition. Good God, getting down. Man, that thing's smooth. Listen to that thing. There you go, Cobra 29, listening in.
So, well, my game was turned down.
Hello, I must have bumped it. There we go. Now we got it.
Yeah, now we're going to turn this down. We'll get some close proximity feedback.
Hello, radio check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Audio check. Cobra 29 audio got down.
All right, so there we go. Buck, this concludes your Harley Davidson edition Cobra 29. We're going to get it back in the box that it came in for you. We're going to get it ready to go out. And we appreciate your business. Y'all be safe, be careful, be kind. Got several things. Got a couple amplifiers coming up next week. We've got a Peterbilt install, full install, coming up in about maybe a week and a half, whenever they get down here. Got a lot of good things going on. So y'all be safe, be careful, be kind. We'll catch you next time. Me and this Harley Davidson, super clean Harley Davidson radio is, we're gone. We'll see you. Bye.